Confused about what career to choose? Not quite sure of the range of study and work options compatible with your personality, aptitude and interests? Welcome to Career Cafe, where we give you a ringside view of an exciting career each week. Together, we shall explore the pros and cons, the ins and outs, the programs and prospects, all the stuff you need to make an informed and successful career choice. Hi, I am your host and career guide Pervin Malhotra, and on the menu today we have careers in finance, cash flow statements and balance sheets, shares and debentures, taxation and auditing, banking and insurance, investment banking and commodities trading. The world of finance is a multifaceted and fascinating one. Many would go so far as to say that money and finance is what makes the world go round. And to tell us all about the world of finance, more specifically the career opportunities in finance, we have with us Shalin Divatia, mentor to the economics and finance programs at NMIMS University in Mumbai. With a bachelor's in commerce and a CA qualification, our guest today was only just getting warmed up. He then went on to do his LLB and even completed the company secretary course for good measure. He is a partner at a CA firm specializing in taxation, audit and mergers and acquisitions. He has also helped establish the commerce, economics and finance programs at NMIMS University, Mumbai. Shalin currently mentors these programs. Welcome to Career Cafe, Shalin. Delighted to have you with us all the way from Bombay to come and enlighten all our viewers. Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Pervin. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Great. So, let's not waste any time and jump into this thing, because finance is such a vast jungle. No? Now, when we talk of finance in terms of careers, all right. So, what are the various specializations or fields that come under its ambit?
See, when we look at careers in finance, we would essentially look at careers where finance is the main business of the company or the organization. So, for example, careers in banking, investment banking, forex management, insurance, where finance is the core operation, that would mean careers in finance. Otherwise, of course, finance is the lubrication of all business, and as an avenue, one has options in corporates, in manufacturing sectors, etc. But these were the essential parts of finance.
And when we talk of financial services, what all comes under that ambit?
Financial services refers to a lot of the supporting services, for example, services in relation to investment banking, where one does not deal with the money per se, but one actually helps in the activities which relate to finance, mergers, acquisitions.
Stock market, also comes
capital
under
markets, everything comes under finance.
Okay. Now, if you have any queries about careers in finance, call us quickly on our toll free numbers 011 230 3520 420. I will repeat that 011 230 35420 and 1800 115314. You have those on your screen. Okay, so continue, Shalin. So, now tell me, now if someone says I want a career in finance, then when should the preparation start, at what stage?
I believe the graduation is the most important part of a person's education, because that is the core knowledge which forms for most of us the basis of what we do later on in our careers. So, that thought process has to start at the graduation level itself. If you want a career in finance, you can look for a graduation in economics, a graduation in finance, a BSc finance, commerce, or even mathematics for that.
Oh, so is that why even engineering students are lapped up by international banks and investment banking companies, etc., because their quant is solid?
Yes, very true. In fact, the world of finance is ruled number one by engineers and number two by people who have a strong background in economics. And the essence of both of these is that there has to be a strong quantitative background in the courses which one does
Starting from the bachelor's level.
Starting from
so this means that actually you have to start from the school level. I mean, if you've dropped maths after class 10, then you have closed many doors as far as finance is concerned.
I absolutely agree with you. Mathematics is extremely essential in economics, in finance, in engineering, and if anybody drops mathematics at the school level, I think it was a little too early, because most students may not be mature enough to make a choice at that age.
Very true, very true. And you're just closing doors for no reason.
Absolutely.
I mean, even if you have to go into normal MBA programs, leave aside what you study in college, even the entrance exams have a fairly significant math component, no?
Absolutely.
The CAT, etc. And if you've lost touch with math at class 10 level, then you know reviving it is a bit tough.
Extremely difficult, extremely difficult. In fact, the best courses in economics and finance all over the world, they have a very strong component of quantitative techniques, mathematics, statistics. And we at NMIMS have devised these programs which have a very strong component in the two in mathematics and statistics.
So is that why you call them BSc programs?
Yes, that's the reason why we call them BSc Economics, BSc Finance, and so do many other universities.
Yes, so do many other universities.
Both in India and abroad.
So that's the distinction, that a BA would be a little more theoretical and the BSc would be far more quant and application based.
Yes.
Okay. So now tell me, most people still, even today, wherever I go, I find that people only think if finance mein jana hai to CA karo ya MBA finance karo. Is that true?
I am myself a chartered accountant, so I would say CA is a very good course. But now
Shalin, एक कॉल ले लेते हैं, आपके मुंबई से ही है तो उनको हम वेट नहीं कराएंगे. Yes, welcome to Career Cafe. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm Mr. Ramakrishnan from Mumbai.
Welcome.
I have a question for Mr. Divatia.
Yes.
I would like him to explain further. He has said about mathematics.
Yes.
How far is quantitative techniques, operation research, and econometrics and operations management very important in the financial field?
Yes.
see,
can he clarify? It would be very nice.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Very good question, because it's connected to what we've just been discussing.
and it's a very good question, Mr. Ramakrishnan. See, today finance encompasses things like valuation, forecasting, predictive modeling. Now, all these have a background which is based in economics or in mathematics. So, that is why mathematics, regression, your trigonometry, all these are the basis of the mathematical formula which are nowadays used in econometrics and in modeling. Even the famous Black-Scholes formula which is used in derivatives trading for calculating the value of an option, that is based in fundamentals of mathematics. So, mathematics is an extremely important subject for this particular for the area of finance.
And but what level of mathematics, Shalin?
It only gets higher and higher. The level of mathematics is at a very high level in finance, and which is the reason why engineers, you have a lot of engineers in the financial sector.
Yes, yes.
That is because the level of mathematics in engineering is of a very high level
as compared to
a normal BCom or commerce courses.
Right, right. And tell me now, this one question, I know I am slightly regressing, but students who are doing a chartered accountant's course today, should they or should they not be doing their graduation?
I personally believe, as I just said a few minutes ago, that graduation is very important in one's academic career. And what we have seen, or what we are noticing, is a trend that students then tend to ignore graduation.
Yes.
Because chartered accountancy requires a 3-year full-time internship of almost 6 to 7 hours a day. And with that kind of a situation, students are not able to afford enough time for their graduation. So, what this leaves them with a very they don't have enough time for graduation.
That is true, but that's a sad thing, because just in case you're not able to crack your finals or whatever, given the restricted number of students that come out of the CA program, then if you're not a graduate, you've had it. No?
You are very true.
You know?
Very
So
true.
that's why you must hedge your bets, and but ICAI also has an arrangement with IGNOU and I think some other university, wherein you can do you know, because you're already studying finance as part of your CA program, so you do certain subjects and then you get a BCom degree from IGNOU. I think that is an arrangement that ICAI has.
You are very right. There are a lot of correspondence courses which offer a graduation degree, but at the same time industry doesn't look to correspondence courses as kindly as it does to a full-time academic engagement on the part of the students. It's a part of the overall development of the personality of a child when he goes to college, interacts with his peers, interacts with the professors, and that is what he does tend to miss out in many cases when they do CA at a young age.
Completely agree with you, because you know, at 17, 18 you should not be just sitting at home or just in this thing, you know, you must intermingle and develop your personality, try different things, which happens much more in a college setting. We have another caller, Chandra from Tirupati. Welcome to Career Cafe.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Madam, I would like to know the former D, madam, medicines particularly. Is there any career in the former D, ma'am?
In Pharma D?
Yeah.
Oh, this is you know, today's program is essentially on careers in finance, but yes, a diploma in pharmacy. Is that what you're talking about? I think the line's cut off. A diploma in pharmacy is a good starting point. What you would need to do, I think that will really help you along the line, is convert or move up to laterally into a B Pharma program, because that will then later open up many more options as compared to D Pharma. So I think that is what you need to keep in mind. Okay. So Shalin, banking. Everybody, that is another big craze in our country. No, banking में जाना है. तो एक तो सरकारी जो banks हैं, nationalized banks हैं, उनके लिए you have the PO exams or the clerical grade exams. Okay. Now, what do international banks look for, and what exactly is investment banking, and how do you get there?
Okay. Two questions. I think, what is investment banking? Investment banking is a very wide term. It deals with a variety of issues, helping companies merge. They look at mergers, takeovers of company. They help companies in structuring. They help companies in the overall financial structuring, as well as in raising funds by way of structured products and so on. But there was another question which you asked, and that was, what do foreign banks or private sector banks now look at?
Yes, absolutely, private sector banks.
I think if you will see now, more and more private sector banks are looking at a variety of qualifications in terms of the recruitment that they make. They will look at economics graduates. One company which I can think of is IDFC, which has both a chartered accountant as well as professionals in economics who are on the board of the company and who are heading the company. So, one is a question of the qualification you have, and then how do you build upon the qualification. So, the only point that we are trying to make is that a good graduation enables you to build upon that graduation, whether through a professional qualification or through add-on courses,
etc. We have another caller from Orissa. Welcome to Career Cafe.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, actually, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, my question is that actually I have completed my BCA and I just want to know, and I have also 2.5 years of experience in IT, software line.
Okay.
So I just want to know which one will be good for me, whether I will go for the MCA or I will go for the MBA.
Okay. Classic question. He's done his BCA and then he's asking whether he should go for MCA or whether he should go for an MBA finance.
So, after you do a good graduation, you have two options. Either you further specialize in that particular field, and then in which case you can do an MCA, or you would want to have a rather broader view of the business as a whole. So, if you want a more technical perspective and you want to be more involved in the software development and the technical aspects of the business, you would look at an MCA. But If you would like to approach it more from a business perspective, which would include various things like heading a team, marketing of the business, then in that case your core qualification of knowing the subject plus an MBA would hold you in good stead.
Yes, and then he could go into systems, you know, and be a systems analyst, means you're interfacing between the hardcore techies as well as the business or your client, understanding his requirements and then blending the two and translating that to the team. So, I think an MBA would do that for you, it would widen that aspect for
Definitely,
you.
it would help you with the overall business understanding
And
the business
particularly
aspects.
since he has a couple of years of work experience under his belt, I think this would be the ideal time to be looking at an MBA, no?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that it's always a great thing to have a couple of years of experience with you before you do your MBA. To have a good graduation, couple of years experience, and then an MBA can do wonders for a person's career.
You got that message. Now we'll take a short break here, but when we return, we'll continue our discussion on careers in economics and finance and also continue taking all your queries. So stay right there. Welcome back to Career Cafe. We are looking at careers in finance, and with us is Shalin Divatia, CA and mentor, NMIMS University. So Shalin, there is a caller waiting, Vikram from Assam. So let's take listen to his question and then we'll continue our discussion. Yes, Vikram, what's your question?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I have pursued BTech in chemical engineering. Now my question is that I'm willing to pursue MBA. And what specialization should I take so that it is beneficiary for me in the long run?
You're a chemical engineer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and do you
have of experience in production engineering?
Okay. And do you have you worked? Have you worked
yes.
for a bit?
Yes, I have worked for 1 year.
Okay.
And now I'm willing to pursue MBA. Now my question is that I have done my graduation in chemical engineering.
Right.
Means what specialization should I take in MBA so that it is beneficiary for me in the long run?
Okay. Number one, I think, Shalin, what we need to tell Vikram is that because today an MBA is offered by thousands of B schools, big, small, indifferent, good, it's important that he does it from a reputed B school. That's the number one thing.
Very true, very true.
As far as his second question, what should he specialize in at the MBA level? I think go ahead, but I would suggest that today dual specializations are available, and any case you need to choose your specialization in the second year.
Very true.
So go ahead.
The good MBA programs would typically have the first year as common for all streams, and then you choose your specialization in the second year, whether it is marketing, whether it is finance. These are the two most common ones. And excuse me, please. And as Pervin very rightly said, it's possible to have both specializations if you want, and if you're willing to put in a little extra effort. The important thing is that what is your liking. If you are a person who has a flair for marketing, who is an extrovert, who likes to meet people and get things done, then MBA marketing is a very challenging and can be a very rewarding opportunity. But if you want to get into more of a finance role within the organization, and that does help, because when a chemical engineer works in the finance department or heads or oversees the finance function of a chemical process or a chemical product company, it makes a big difference than a person who doesn't have that background.
True.
And who's just an MBA finance. So both roles are open to you. It depends on where your interests and your aptitude lies. But it's a great choice that you, it's a great decision that you are making.
Wonderful, Shalin. I think that was a very balanced answer. One more caller, Saurabh Gandhi from Pune. Yes, Saurabh.
Actually, ma'am, my question is, I am in my third year of information technology engineering.
Okay.
I wanted to know if I want to plan my career in investment banking, then how should I plan my career?
All right. Good question.
If you want to go into investment banking, the first thing that you need to know after an engineering is finance. So you have two options open before you. The first is to do an MBA finance from a good university or a good B school. Another option which is available internationally is to do an MS in finance. But investment banking requires a broader consideration of various aspects of the business, not just finance. So, one needs to understand one needs to have the ability to understand the business as a whole, and for that particular reason an MBA will give you a broader perspective and understanding of the business. So, an MBA finance would be extremely essential and helpful for this kind of an objective.
And talking about investment banking, what about what we call financial analysts? I see a lot of companies heading to some of the top engineering colleges and recruiting fresh graduates for this role. What exactly does a financial analyst do, and is that a good option to start with?
A financial analyst is more of a role rather than an academic background.
Yes.
But yes, a financial analyst basically is a person with an understanding in finance. He analyzes companies and he analyzes the numbers of a company to understand the intricacies of the business.
So, that is what.
So, it is more of a number crunching exercise.
Okay.
But to be a really successful financial analyst, you also need to be able to understand the business aspect of it, and which is why we just advised Saurabh that he needs to do an MBA over an MS
okay.
if he wants to get into investment banking.
Another caller, Shalin, मेरा तो question सब इधर ही रह जाएगा दिमाग में. Rakesh from Gwalior, welcome to Career Cafe. Hello.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Actually, ma'am, that I did that MBA Finance and MA Economics, and at the moment I am 37 years old. So, what is the career perspective still we are having? At the moment I am doing as an accountant.
Okay. He has done his MBA Finance and a Masters in Economics, and he is working as an accountant. Now, how does he beef up his resume?
I think you should have ideally been in a far more different role than what you are in right now. But two things come in here. One is the quality of the graduation and the quality of the institutes, and second is the opportunities available in that particular field at that point in time. So, maybe even though you are so extremely well qualified, you did not get the right opportunities for whatever reason. You might try and reorient yourself and bring yourself back in line with the current trends by doing some add-on certification courses and updating your knowledge, because as an accountant, I think if you have been working as such for such a long time, you might have a few rusted edges so far as your economics and MBA is concerned.
So, let us talk about, we have very little time. Shalin, tell us about these additional certifications that will help, him as well as other people in this.
So, you have a number of additional certification courses. One, they could be relating to wealth management, they could be relating to risk management, which is an important field. They could be relating to investment advice, they could be related to some debt management, equity oriented courses where one can advise somebody on investments and analysis, portfolio management. So, all these kind of courses, ultimately if a person has has a background in economics or an MBA finance, he should be very quickly be able to pick up the finer nuances of these courses, which have a very quick and immediate practical application both in terms of job opportunities or as an independent freelance practitioner in that particular area.
So, what about courses like CS, Company Secretaries Program, or the CWA program? Suppose you are a CA and you do a CS, is that an advantage?
It's an advantage.
You have done.
Yes, it is an advantage, because CS has a greater focus on corporate and other laws as compared to chartered accountancy, where the focus is more on accounting, financial management, taxation. So, it does help definitely. Similarly, CWA, as you said, they have a greater focus on cost accounting and on cost management. There is a fair amount of overlap across these courses, but there are also individual areas where each one of them has their own strong points.
And what about the CFA program, the Chartered Financial Analyst program? Where does that take you?
The Chartered Financial Analyst program used to be offered in India, I believe.
No, now
no
it's
longer
the international.
Now it's the
CFA.
international course. It's a good course, but in fact, one should try and have in India courses in the nature of BSc Finance. We at NMIMS are starting one. finance, which not only give you the knowledge, but they also give you a graduation and a post-graduation or a post-graduation degree, which would be helpful as compared to only a CA, Chartered Financial Analyst, which is more seen as an add-on in India.
Yes, it's not a standalone.
It's not a
standalone. Yes, you have done an MBA and you do the CFA, or if you've done the CA and do a CS and this thing, yes, then that sort of, in combination it's good, but not as a standalone.
But it's a very good course, though slightly expensive ever since it's been the international one.
Yes.
So I guess in India we have a need for universities to open courses and offer courses in BS, in finance, both at the graduation level and
as
at the
well as at the post-graduation level. So I think today's discussion has been extremely fruitful in the sense that, you know, ये जो MBA और CA, ये जो दो ही चीज़ बच्चे सोचते हैं, इनके अलावा क्या कर सकते हैं? Forex trading, for instance,
yes,
है ना? That is another thing. Financial modeling, so many options. Shalin.
No, these are all fields which are yet to emerge in India. Most of the people who are doing this who have knowledge of this either have been educated abroad or in some select universities in India. There are both some excellent universities at in the public sector, like the IISc in Indian Institute of Science, but the majority of the innovation in courses is happening at the private university level.
Yes, where they're more flexible and quicker on the ball.
Absolutely, that's the thing.
That's the thing. So thank you so much for coming to Career Cafe, Shalin. Wonderful, wonderful. And with that, we wrap up today's show here. Next week on Career Cafe, we'll look at yet another super career. But before that, let me leave you with one more of my favorite quotes. Don't judge those who try and fail. Judge only those who fail to try. And so, bye for now.